Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakis with Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales, where we do everything that is mold making. We're mold makers that don't build molds. It's weird, I know, but it's who we are. So what does that look like? It means that we do the things that mold makers don't want to do. The polishing, the finishing, we assist with the plating, stripping, laser welding, laser engraving, preventative mold maintenance, hot runner manifold repair, and all of those things that take time out of your day where you would rather just be building tools. That's what we want to help you with. We have mold makers on staff, so any question you have, we can answer and help you out with. The other thing that we do is we build laser welding and laser engraving equipment across the market. So not just for mold repair, but every industrial sector. So if you're doing production welding for something and you're currently TIG welding, you could be laser welding, and it would be much more efficient, much cleaner, less cleanup time, less metal deformation and everything else. And we can help you out with that too. So it doesn't have to be a system that we have. It could be completely out of the box, custom to whatever you need. Most of our equipment is made here in the United States. We do have some partners outside of the country, but everything that we make that has the Alliance name on it is made here in our Prairie Grove R&D facility. That's who we are. That's what this is all about. And we're here to help you guys however you want. Today is a fun show. I've got my friend Ryan Delahanty here from Gardner Business Media. Many people, we were talking about this, don't know Gardner Business Media is the overall parent name. They know mold making technology. They know plastics technology. They know all those other things. So Ryan is here, and we're going to talk about the upcoming Amerimold show, among other things. So, I forgot to do this. Before we get to the interview stuff, Mary Kate is shaking her head at me. It's been 3 weeks. I'm out of practice. We have our golf outing coming up, which is the day after Amerimold. We didn't schedule it that way on purpose, but it actually works out really nicely. So if you're going to Amerimold, which you should, stay an extra day. Let's do some networking. Let's do some drinking. Let's hang out. Let's play golf. And I use the term golf very lightly. It's more of an excuse to just get together, shake hands, kiss babies, and make a difference for combat wounded veterans. All the proceeds are going towards iWarriors, where we give iPads to combat wounded veterans to help them with PTSD and just let them feel a little bit whole in their lives. And as always, the show is live and it's for you. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts that you have, please put it in the chat, whether that's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We will see it. Mary Kate is standing by. She's really bored just listening to Ryan and I talk. So if she can answer those questions or at least get them over to us, we're happy to talk to them right away. Nothing is off topic. We want to answer whatever questions you have. So
nothing's off topic.
I'm comfortable answering anything. Okay. People may not like my answer, but I'm happy discussing it. I don't have anything to hide. I'm an open book. Ryan has brought he's brought a plethora of materials here.
I have some stuff I'm going to give to you.
The professor is in the house. So we are going to kick this off and start to get to know Ryan. Ryan, you are now the Executive Vice President at Gardner Business Media.
Yep.
When we first met, you were just a sales guy.
Just a sales guy. And I still am a sales guy at the end of the day. I'm still a sales guy. I love that part of what we do, helping connect buyers and sellers through our media channels, our media products, through our magazines, through our websites, of course, through our live events. So at the end of the day, that's why you and I get along so well. That's what we do together. So in my role, I help not only with our plastics media brands, but also just helping some guidance on our corporate sales structure and being part of the executive team of Gardner Business Media. So,
And what's been nice is, over the years, I think I've known you for like 8 years or something, right? It was just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Somehow
you're getting grayer.
And you're not. I don't know how that's happening.
I'm hiding them.
It's just.
I'm not hiding them. I shouldn't say that. It's just I'm blessed. Let's put it that way.
You got a lot of Sharpies in your closet. But no, I think every time we've had a question or needed some guidance or some help, you've been very open in saying, hey, have you thought about this? Is this an area that you'd like to explore? Whether that's, moving into a different magazine ad size or whatever it is, helping us to maximize what we can get out of the relationship that we have.
Yeah. That's what we enjoy. We enjoy helping. We enjoy coming alongside. Our chairman of the board talks about sitting on the side of the table with your customer.
Yeah.
So if we can sit on the side of the table with our customers and help them, really understand their challenges, understand your challenges and where your pain points are in your business, there's probably something that we have that can help. And sometimes there's not. And then we can just help direct you in the places that we don't have something, but we can help you get connected with.
Yeah. So Tony, I can never say your last name, but he asked
Tony Mastip.
Tony Mastip. Yeah. He asks, how can Mary Kate be so bored looking at such handsome men?
Tony.
That's very kind of you. We're just as God made us.
That's right. Exactly.
We have nothing to, so unprofessional on the other end of the table. It's okay. We can't take any credit for that. That's just who we are.
Tony, I know we're looking forward to seeing you at Amerimold in a couple of weeks, but thanks for the compliment. And, we're blushing.
Yeah, you can't tell because the camera keeps changing color, but we're working on a budget here. Speaking of the good-looking guys, I'm going to put you on the pedestal here because you are actually going back and competing in triathlon again. Yeah,
it's been a few years. We were just talking about that. Tony and I, the first time we met, we started talking about triathlon. Tony, as humble as he won't talk about it, but he's a pretty accomplished triathlete. And you were
was.
Life's not over, but yeah. So I got kind of the bug a few years ago and did several sprints. I've done a couple Olympics. I've done a half Ironman, and just kind of coming through COVID and what was going on, and just kind of personally challenging myself. I stepped back in the arena, and so October 2nd, so like less than a month, we'll be going down to Muncie, Indiana, and running that half Ironman, 70.3 miles.
So when you're watching and you come to Amerimold and you go, Ryan, let me buy you a drink, he's going to say no.
I'll say no.
And it's not because he doesn't like you. It's because he is a lean, mean fighting machine right now, ready to race.
Yep. That's one way to put it.
Which means he's also the designated driver at the golf outing. So
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm designated. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, it's not. I'm not a huge drinker to begin with, but I mean, there's like that occasional summer beer. You go out with friends or whatever, and just several weeks ago, I said, if I'm going to get real serious about this, lock it in. You kind of you're putting in all this time working. Yeah. I'm spending. I mean, this. You spend probably 6-7 hours a weekend. Yeah. You're exhausted anyway, and then you throw a couple beers on that. Your wife's already pissed at you that you're going to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. So,
it's true.
So throw a couple drinks in there, and now it turns into 6 o'clock. So
it's true.
I'm doing my best to stay up as late as possible. So
I think a lot of the people that do those races, do the Ironman races, triathlons, whatever it is, if you're taking whatever sport you're doing seriously, I think what my experience was being around that hobby so much was that it was loaded with very successful people. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, the guy who hated going to work and barely scraping through the week. Yeah. They were driven professionals in whatever they were doing, because you need that passion and that drive to be able to succeed and hit those goals that you want.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's every person that you run into has trusted a process. I think successful business leaders, successful, parents, anyone that has success has followed some type of process in their life, whatever that looks like, whether it's running the PTA, whether it's, managing 3 kids at home, or running a business like you're doing. And so, and then also understanding that you can't do it all at one time. I call it eating the elephant one bite at a time. I'm sure you've heard that all the time. So you just follow this process. You go through the steps that are proven to be successful, and you commit to it. And then you surprise yourself. You look back a month, you're like, oh, I just moved up in distance. Oh, I just got a little bit faster. And if you equate that to business, like if you trust the process of whether you're a salesperson or you're a welder or you're in marketing, there's always a process somewhere in there that you can follow. Doesn't mean that it can't change. Doesn't mean that it's gospel. But I think that's been successful for me in training and getting prepared. And I also see there's a ton of correlation between work and frankly life and being a good husband and dad. So.
Yeah, we it was probably a year ago. We had Andrew Starkowitz, who's a professional triathlete. He lives here in Wakanda. He's a good friend of mine. He came in and we talked about the difference and the similarities between success in work and success in sport, and how they go back and forth, and what that looks like. Jim Clary says, we're as God made us, plus a lot of hair product. It's a fact.
Thanks, Jimmy.
I love the support. Allison thinks he's hysterical. Tony says he will gladly buy you a kale smoothie.
A kale smoothie. I'll appreciate that. I've never had one, but I'm willing to try.
Yeah. And Dale says he would like the designated driver commitment in writing. So,
fair enough, Dale. You got it, buddy. It's on video. Isn't that more than writing?
I think so. Unless you leave early, then Dale's kind of in trouble.
Dale's in trouble. Then I'm in for a very expensive Uber back to Aurora for Dale.
Yeah.
So.
We've had those for people. It's
right.
It's a thing.
By the way, we are participating in the outing.
I saw that.
We're committed to sponsoring a hole. Just a pitch for the golf outing. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's really fun. It's super low key, by the way. Like if you're a golfer that like really likes to compete in golf, this is not for you.
100%.
This is for people that are going to get out there, whack the ball around, have no problem picking it up.
Yeah.
And just the charity piece of it alone, especially in what's we're about to celebrate on Saturday of the 20th year of September 11th. It's just really, really applicable. And I know you work with Progressive a lot to make sure iWarriors is stood up, and you guys got involved when the opportunity iWarriors needed to be stood up a little firmer.
Yep.
And you guys did a great job coming alongside and making sure that was there. I know you guys raised a ton of money. What's the average amount of money that you guys raise?
Average is around $10,000 to $12,000.
Yeah, so $10,000 to $12,000 of iPads basically that are going to wounded warriors, heroes, and just who doesn't want to get behind that?
Yeah,
and
so
it's easy for us to commit to being there.
Yeah, it's something simple, right? This year our goal was 244 people. We are going to fall short of that. That's a fact. I'm going to blame the Delta on that. I am. It's fine. I can do that because we've had people that committed and now they can't come. Mm-hmm. We are going to push out. We're going to hit 120. That's not going to be a problem. So my comment is we're going to continue to take golfers. You may not finish all 18 holes. My guarantee is you will have cold beer and you will have opportunity to build relationships and make a difference in people's lives. It's not about finishing 18 holes of golf. Everybody cheats at the thing anyways, and we only get 6 scorecards in at the end of the night. We don't even announce a winner anymore. It's just an excuse to get people together and have fun.
I think I bought like 2 arm lengths worth of mulligans. So, it's like you can't not have a good round of golf when you're playing there. Plus, it's a scramble. So, who doesn't love a scramble? But, so anyway, we're in. MoldMaking Technology and Gardner Business Media is in, and we're happy to be supporting you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity to support you.
Yeah, we love it. We're doing something a little bit extra. We're going to have it at Amerimold. We're also going to have it at the golf outing. You don't even know about this. Okay. Myself, Alliance, International Mold Steel, and Dramco have partnered to put together a shirt that we're going to be selling separate from iWarrior, separate from the golf outing. Honoring the 13 military soldiers that were lost in Afghanistan. The design is done. The shirts are being printed. So we will have those at Amerimold and at the golf outing. And if you can't be at either, we're going to reach out to partner companies that we have, whether that's Paul, whether that's Larry Patton, whoever that is, and make it available so that wherever area you're in, you can get that order shirt. And all the money, not just the proceeds, all the money for that is going to be given to the families of those soldiers. So
that's great.
Allison Klein, one of my favorite people, wants to know what I am most excited about at Amerimold. I'll tell you, I miss everybody.
I can answer this for Tony.
Go ahead. I want to hear Ryan's answer.
You love people.
Yeah.
You've really struggled, like probably personally and professionally. You've been on these chat and chows, on these podcasts about how you miss connecting with people. Yeah. You're a people person. You've always been a people person. So I'm going to say the thing Tony's looking forward to is the connections.
Yeah, it's 100% true. I miss people. I miss not just shaking hands, but giving people hugs. It's who I am. I get all excited when I see my friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And I haven't seen Allison or Christina. I mean, I've seen you a couple times because we're local. My friends at Westminster, we saw at the AMBA conference. I'm really excited to getting people all back together and loving people. Tim Bartz says it all the time. You got to love people. And you do. That's what this industry is. It's built on relationships and loving people. So I'm excited to hear everybody talk about where they're at in their business, what's happening, their struggles, which I'm only going to guess is finding people to work.
And supply chain.
And supply chain, absolutely. But short of that, it's all about the connections and getting back together and having people. So along with that, what are you expecting? What is Gardner, what is MoldMaking expecting for attendance for this event? I mean, I know Chicago got some new mandates. We've been through that before. That's not a big deal. We'll do what we have to do. But what's the overall picture look like for as far as Gardner's perspective?
Yeah, great. Thanks for the question. And I'm sure it's top of mind for people that are considering coming to Amerimold, for our exhibitors coming to Amerimold, certainly for us. So first of all, there's going to be an impact just with what's happening with the global pandemic of people and their ability to come to Amerimold. Industry standard is what you hear. You might have heard it if you went out to MD&M and Plastech West, a 50% reduction in attendance. I can tell you right now, we will not have a 50% reduction in attendance. We're tracking closer to, this is my paperwork that comes out.
Yeah, bring your paperwork out, Professor.
We're tracking probably closer to, and this is going off 2019 numbers, which is around 2,600 attendees.
Okay.
We'll probably be 10% off of that, maybe 15%, which the way that we're looking at things, and I think the way that events are happening right now, in particular live events, that will be a percentage of attendance relative to a previous show that would be very, 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 very welcome.
Yeah.
What we're finding is that people that are coming to live events, and it's not just us, it's Freeman and many other professional folks that are in events way bigger than we are.
Yep.
We're big into events, but there's people that are into them bigger than us. Those people are finding that when people come to a live event right now, Tony, they're there for a purpose.
Yes.
If you look at what we do, we're about making a connection in the mold manufacturing market. Now, this year we're co-locating not only with Amerimold, we're bringing our molding conference, which is a plastics technology technical conference, as well as our extrusion conference. So we've got pretty much the three major plastic processes together: mold manufacturing, injection molding, and extrusion, all in one place. And we're real excited about that. But when you look at those people are stepping away from their business, that's probably been essential the whole time. They've been making critical medical supplies. They've been supplying automotive. They've been supplying aerospace, consumer packaging, all the stuff that these men and women that are these plastic processors are mold making. They're stepping away from these businesses that are on like total fire. They're on fire right now, like in a good fire way. And they're going to come to Rosemont because they have a problem and they're looking for a solution. They've got an opportunity to grow their business, or they're having a challenge in their business. Maybe they need a new supplier. Maybe supply chain is impacting them more than they want to. And so when you look at the people that are going to be walking the floor, I really think it's about the number of quality conversations you're having in your booth. And if I was an attendee, the number of quality conversations I'm having with those people that are bringing technology there versus the number of people that are walking in the door. Because we're just not going to get the people that were casual anymore. These are serious people that have serious business problems and challenges, and they're looking at Amerimold molding and extrusion to help them solve those problems.
So Mary Kate just asked a good question. Do you think that your high attendance numbers are because you combined all those shows together?
I think that it's going to have an impact because if I'm an injection molder, Mary Kate, I have the ability to meet with mold manufacturing suppliers and specialists and technology suppliers in that industry. So if you think about that concept of bringing that whole supply chain together, it really supports what's going to happen in late March 2022, when we're going to bring the Plastics Technology Expo to the Rosemont Convention Center, and we will have all the stakeholders from extrusion, blow molding, mold manufacturing, 3D printing, sourcing, and injection molding, as well as the auxiliary equipment companies that basically are the connector of all those processes together in one spot. So yes, to answer your question, I think there's some people are seeing value in their time, Mary Kate. They're saying, hey, I can go there and go to the technical conference for molding, and I can also go learn about tooling, which is also a challenge in my business. If they in the past they had to go to two places, now they can come to one.
And I love the addition of what's going on in Amerimold. And to piggyback on what you're saying, the thing that I've loved about Amerimold every year we've gone is the smaller. This is not a knock.
No, I get
the smaller size of the event. Because when you go to those NPEs and FabTechs and those shows that are just overwhelmingly large, you don't get quality time with the exhibitors or the attendees on either side. And by the time you get back home, you call somebody, they don't remember who you are because they talk to 50 people that do exactly what you do. And so unless you find a way to make this lasting impact, it's impossible. What I always loved about Amerimold was how connected it was. We go there and we feel like it's home. We know a majority of the people there already, and it's just a refresher course on who we are, what we do, and who they are, and how we can work together. And it's a comfortable show.
So it's funny you mentioned that. So several years ago, we constantly ask. You've been part of these asks where we'll survey, key exhibitors and key exhibitors and key attendees, and we'll say, if we could grow Amerimold, would you be behind that?
Right.
And what we got, which kind of surprised us a little bit, is that people like the size. They're able to consume it. They can make connections. They can see who they want to see. They can have a quality. They can have several touch points. That's why at Amerimold we'll have our traditional networking parties and happy hours and all these things that are part of making that mold manufacturing community the connection place that we enjoy. And I think the people that are successful in that marketplace, there's a common theme that you hear with all of them. It's connection and community. If you even go back to Christina, Christina is a community builder. And Christina Fugis, who's the editorial director of MoldMaking Technology, she's the founding editor of that media brand. She's been at Amerimold and MoldMaking Expo from when it launched. And she's always been focused on creating and continuing community. And that's so important for us. It's frankly where media is going. Media is about connection and community. And so we feel really good about what we've done with Amerimold. But really all we've done is give a platform. And then it's really the exhibitors and the attendees that come to create that community. We just give them a place to do it. And that's kind of what we feel is our role and help facilitate some of those connections.
I was just, and going back to what you were saying also about people being serious. I was just at the JCK show. It's a jewelry show in Las Vegas. We have a series of laser welding and engraving systems built for the jewelry market. And while I was there, I ran into my cousin in the airport in Las Vegas, totally random. It was great to see her. Carrie, it was awesome to see you. But she was there for another trade show that was wrapped up. And so she was on the way home, and I asked her how it went. She said the attendance was down, but the sales were up. So everybody there was a buyer. They weren't there, to your point, to just get out of the office because they had some downtime. They were just looking around. People were there to commit, to buy, to get the things done that they needed to get done, to be efficient. Same thing kind of happened at the jewelry show where people knew what they were looking for. They were very focused on their direction. I'm looking for this engraver that does this. Can you do this for me? Yes. Cool. Let's talk and set up a demo. It was cut and dry, and it was different than other trade shows where people are like, I guess just scan my badge.
Tell me what you do.
Like
they're coming with, that's really what we see in terms of buyers in across all of our media channels is they're much more focused on what their challenges are. And a lot of time, and you don't know when they're going to come meet you. So you got to be prepared that whole time, wherever they're at in the funnel, to be prepared to have that conversation. I do want to come back to you because you mentioned Chicago
Yep.
and kind of mask mandates
Yep.
and things that are going on.
Yeah. How are you guys handling that?
So first of all, we're in Rosemont, so
Okay.
we're not in the city of Chicago. So
Okay.
Rosemont, as you know, is in Cook County,
Yes.
Illinois. Is not in Chicago. So we're next to Chicago, but we're technically in
It's
Rosemont,
close.
Illinois. Right. Very easy to market it as Chicago, but it's in Rosemont. But that becomes a little like nitpicky when it comes to Chicago does this, but Cook County does that, and the
Yeah.
state of Illinois is doing this. But the reality is that 2 weeks ago, or maybe 10 days ago, the state of Illinois went under a mask mandate. So what we will do, and we'll see what happens in the next 2
Right.
weeks. I mean, it could change like everything else with what's going on. But as it stands right now, the state of Illinois has this mandate in place.
Yep.
And so we're going to follow the recommendations of the Rosemont Convention Center.
Yep.
And we'll encourage people to wear masks to their, and maybe recommend that they wear masks or encourage them to do that. But based on their comfort level, we believe people will make good choices for their families, for their teammates, for their businesses, for attendees that are coming to the show. And we'll leave that to them to do that. All of Gardner Business Media, all of MoldMaking Technology, Plastics Technologies team are 100% vaccinated. So our team does not travel unless you've got full vaccination, which is important for us to follow that and bring some comfort level to folks where that's a challenge. So that's kind of a statement there, or a comment there. Now, one thing that we just deployed at our PMTS show, which is the Precision Machining Technology Show, or basically it's owned by the PMPA.
Sure.
Gardner Business Media is a great partner, and we work with them on that. That show just took place in August in Columbus, one of the most successful trade shows they've ever had during a pandemic under a mask mandate in Ohio. So take it for what it is.
Yeah.
But one idea that we used there that we will be bringing to Amerimold and many of our events moving forward is a red, yellow, and green sticker system.
Okay.
And so red, each attendee and exhibitor will be encouraged to take one of these little stickers. It's like you put it on your badge. So everyone gets into the show with a badge. They've got a sticker on their badge. Red means, hey, I'm good. No, don't give me my space, and we'll be cautious here as far as coming through.
Yep.
Yellow will be like, yeah, I'm good, but let's not
maybe a fist bump.
Maybe a fist bump. I think people talk about elbows, whatever. Green is hugs and handshakes, as we call it. So
bring on the green.
Right.
Bring on the green.
I know you'll double up your green. I get that. But we do have something that's easily to identify. I think a lot of people, red, yellow, green, that matters. And so it also takes any of that weirdness out of when you're talking to somebody. You're going for the handshake, or are we fist bumping? Are they whatever? And so you're almost declaring what your comfort level is.
I think that's awesome.
So that then if you and I are there, we're like, okay, cool, we can do this. And then if I'm with another person who's red, and you don't know what's going on in their life, they could have a complete immunocompromised person at their home. And by the way, they came to Amerimold because they need to do business, but they want to do it in a safe space, and we're going to provide them an opportunity.
That's awesome. I was when we were at the JCK show, the organizers came over. There were 4 of them, and haven't seen them in years. So I went to give a big hug. Yeah. She was like, "Bring it in." Yeah. So I gave a hug, and there was another guy, and he had this look like,
"I'm not ready.
Don't." I was like, "Gotcha." Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
So just air shakes.
So under our fun system, we'll call it, you don't have to make that judgment, and that person doesn't have to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
You just it's set up. So we're going to do it for Amerimold, and then we'll take it forward to other things. And I think there's a number of shows as you look around the industry that are looking at something similar.
I think it's a great simple concept.
Trying
it's
to be
not
simple.
Overthinking it.
Yeah, trying to be.
Lorena from Progressive says she's most excited about seeing everyone and the Mold Maker of the Year Award, the Lead Time Leader Award. Let's get the correct terminology here.
Christina
it's the Lead Time
probably
Leader,
texting right now.
Which is already out.
It is out. Well, we do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're under a rock, it's already out.
Yep.
Congratulations again to our friends at Westminster. It's not
Ray
a secret anymore.
There,
You've won everything. Okay. There's nothing for the rest of us. You do too good of a job, and we're super proud of you. So awesome. So she's excited about that.
Yeah. So just on a note on that, if you want to read Ray's story and the whole process they went through, You can hit moldmakingtechnology.com. It's the lead story in our September issue. And Ray will be recognized at our Lead Time Leader Award ceremony, which is sponsored by your good neighbor Progressive Components. And so that will be a celebration that we have with Ray and a kind of a passing of the torch from, I suppose, Don. But we'll see how that, maybe they'll have 2 people up there. I don't know. It's Christina's baby, so we'll follow what she says she wants to do.
Yeah, I love that. I always love that award ceremony and then the party after.
The party, we'll have the networking party. Yep.
What else is she excited about? The ceremony, and of course, getting my 2021 top 10 reasons to be a mold maker T-shirt to add to my collection. So, Allison says it's a great list this year. Bob Huff says, God bless America. Yes, sir.
Attaboy, Bobby.
Allison misses people. Jackie misses people. Allison also says our attendance was down about 20% for PMTS in 2021 in Cleveland in August, but the exhibitors saw 4,500 plus more leads scanned than they had in 2019.
So to your point, buyers are showing up.
Quality matters. Absolutely.
Thanks, Allie.
And it was the Precision Machining Technology Show. You said it right.
Thank you. Oh, I said it right. Good. Okay, thank you.
Hey, look at that. Aren't you proud of your vice president?
Terrible.
I mean, he should get it right. What else? What else we got? Those are our comments for right now.
All right. What else you have for me? I'm in the hot seat here. I got lots of materials.
I know. How did I'm gonna throw it back to last year.
Okay.
What was
20 for Connects?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the feedback and the sentiment that you got from people on that? Did people find it successful? Is it something that's a work in progress for events down the road? Or is it like, listen, it was a necessity. Yep. We did it. Let's hope we never have to do that again. For the record, I think you guys did a good job with what you had.
Yeah, thank you.
And the timeline that you had. It was a crazy thing. And you guys were the only ones that really put the impact and the effort into doing it. Was it perfect? No.
Yeah.
But it was something.
Yeah, thanks. So Tony's talking about Amerimold Connects, which is our pivot to a complete virtual trade show when pretty much the U.S. economy went on
hiatus.
Yeah. So that was right about a month and a half before Amerimold was supposed to take place. So, we pivoted greatly. It's actually been covered in a number of our pivot and how we did that. It was hey, how did these guys actually stand this up? We had access to the Map Your Show, which is a sister company of ours. So we had a leg up in terms of that technology to help do that. Meanwhile, they were going through pivot and to virtual and hybrid environments already. So we've got the ability to leverage into that organization. But I think most people would say, yes, we learned a lot. It was successful in the sense of we got the Amerimold brand and we're able to make some connections out there. But I think with kind of what we're looking forward to in 2021, it doesn't replace a live event. I don't think a virtual event will ever replace a live event. We've all been living in this virtual environment. We're all looking at TV screens like this all the time. Whether it's Zoom calls or GoToMeetings or webinars or whatever it is, and just that connection that people thrive on from a live event is what was missing from any virtual event that I participated in, and I participated in quite a number. So we're happy with the ability of our team to stand it up fast. We are happy with kind of how it laid out.
Yep.
But I think we're really looking forward to getting back with people at 2021 and beyond. And let's just pray that we never have to make decisions like that again. In our careers or lifetimes for that matter.
So I know there was a lot of good content that people put together for Connects 2020.
Yep.
Is that still accessible
to people? It's all on our website. Yep.
So how do people, and maybe Christina, Allie, maybe how do people get to that information?
Yep. Good question. They can go to moldmakingtechnology.com. They can just hit the search in there, and there's, they can probably just search Amerimold Connects. I haven't done it in a while, and I'll do it when I get back. Amerimold Connects, and they'll get a full sense of what's going on there. There is some sunsetting of that information that takes place over time. It's just not timely anymore. So our editorial teams take a look at that and make sure it's still applicable in the marketplace. And then they make just decisions just like they would with content in our magazines or content on our websites and things of that nature. It's all available on our website. You can certainly go to Amerimold Connects. If that website's still up, you could probably go there too.
If it's still there. If it's not,
call Tony.
You can call me. I mean, I'll give you my input. It's not going to be very helpful. I'll send you all my data, but that's fine. So you're driving around, you're talking to people all the day,
Yep.
companies all the time. What is their hurdle right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you've talked about it on this podcast
Yeah.
before. Workers, you mentioned it earlier today. Workforce development's huge. Supply chain is impacting everyone. I think supply chain is starting to still work its way through different systems. Like, we hear about chips and automotive. Then you see kind of what's happening with the big three and Toyota and how it's just really impacting just chips is impacting that.
Sure.
But there's not one manufacturing company. I mean, try to order a refrigerator right now.
Yeah.
It's, a several week lead
Buy a
time
car.
on it. Buy a car is a challenge. So supply chain's huge.
Yeah.
And so companies are trying to find different ways, different suppliers, different access to components so that they can delight their customers. And so that's still a huge challenge. Workforce development that you talked about, you've had several speakers on talk about workforce development. Actually, I wanted to talk a little bit to you today and introduce you to a new term called workforce stability.
Okay.
So
I'm interested.
I was introduced to this concept from a friend of mine, Brian Walsh at Metalworks, and he's done some work with this group of people that talks about workforce stability. And the concept behind it is that companies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop people and get them in the door. And what are you doing to keep that workforce stable? Because if you just have a line out the back door and they're going across the street for 50 cents more an hour,
doesn't do you any good.
Does you no good. And plus you're spending, I mean, you don't have to tell me, but I'm sure there's a cost to bringing on onboarding an employee in your shop, which is, by the way, Tony's shop's on fire. It's super busy. Everyone is like you can't really even get them to talk to you right now because they're so busy, but that's a good thing. But if you have a challenge in your workforce and like you bring someone in and then they leave and you bring them in again, I mean, that's thousands of dollars in terms of productivity and actually real cash that's impacting your business. And you guys are a small to mid-sized business. So like that all matters to the bottom line, and profitability and what you can do in terms of compensating your employees or improving the benefit packages or just frankly profitability to the business and investment. So this whole workforce stability thing is really interesting. As a matter of fact, I have a book for you that I started reading.
Got a book.
This author, Ruth, is writing. See, workforce stability. There you go. There you go, Ruth. It's super interesting, and I think you would enjoy it as a leader and a business owner. And just it kind of talks through some things that are so much more about common sense, but we're just not thinking about it as an industry. We're starting to write more about this in our media brands, Plastics Technology. Actually, Ruth is writing a column for us about stability and what it matters. And in particular in manufacturing, stability is a huge issue. And what it basically is coming alongside that employee, what's going on in their life that they might need some stability in, and you just don't know if you're not asking the question.
Yeah, it becomes that, that falls in line with the whole leadership side of things too, right? Like not the concept of leadership management, employee team has changed tremendously where it used to be, you're just not productive to what's going on? How can I help? What do you need?
I saw you do it today.
Yeah.
We walked by a gentleman there was something on his mind and you hopped right in there. It didn't matter. I was walking with you. You didn't big time him. You actually, which I appreciate, you put me on the side and you went over and talked to this gentleman. Just checking in. I thought it was great. It was really cool to see.
So Mary Kate, maybe we'll contact Ruth and see if she wants to come on and be part of the show and tell us more about workplace stability, creating conditions that lead to retention, productivity, and engagement in entry-level workers. And I would guess it's not just entry level.
No,
it's everybody. I think I love Simon Sinek. I don't know if you ever listen to Simon Sinek. Yeah. And one of the things that he always talks about is the leader's job is making everybody feel safe. And part of feeling safe is stability. It doesn't mean you'll let people do whatever they want because that's not stability.
Right.
It's setting some guidelines and expectations with everybody, like you do with kids,
sure,
like you do with everybody that you have a relationship with, of like, these are the boundaries of our relationship and what we can do and what we can't. And it makes things stable. You know where you can't go any further, but you also know that the person the people around you actually care about you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're giving you that groundwork and that foundation.
Yep. If you can build a business where the people care about each other and love each other, it doesn't matter if you sell laser welders, media, widgets, cars, you're going to be successful because they're looking out for each other. And I think you talked about safety. I mean, there's never been a time in the world, but in particular in America, where we've got 4 generations working at the same time. You've got your boomers that are winding down. You've got Gen X. You've got your millennials, and then you've got this Gen Y, Gen Z that's going behind them. All of them have different things that make them work. And so challenge as a leader, if you're running a business or if you're responsible for hiring, or and I don't care if you're running a business or you're leading a team of 1, you've got a leadership responsibility to your team to make sure they're feeling supported. I know that at our company, we're family owned and operated. We're 4th generation, like in the leadership team. We've just started to bring in some of our 5th generation people. But everyone at our company feels cared for, and it's a very safe place, and they've built an incredible culture around that, which makes it successful. Doesn't mean we get it always right all the time.
No,
but it's a culture that is, we describe it as, it's hard to explain, but you know it.
I get that.
So, and you know a lot of the people on our leadership team and around our business. So, the people, they all have a common element that they like. What a person that works at Gardner kind of walks and talks the same way.
Right.
So it's been a great place.
The Kleins have always been great to me. Christina has always been fantastic. We've always been awesome together. Claude in Mexico is awesome. I'm going to give you a hard time. If you go to lunch with Allie and Claude, make sure one of them has some money. I'm just going to say, Allie, come on now. I had to. I haven't seen her in forever.
Hey, I don't get invited to lunch with Claude and Allie, but if I did, it sounds like I'm paying.
Well, it was a thing. It was a thing. And in her defense.
Hey, speaking of Mexico, since you brought that up. So
Meximold,
yep. But if you are not looking, if you're in manufacturing and you're not looking at Mexico, you need to look at Mexico.
You're missing out.
It is a top 10 manufacturing market in the world. There is an incredible workforce down in Mexico. There is billions and billions of dollars that is getting invested into Mexico, into these enterprise zones, these manufacturing zones. So we stepped into Mexico with Modern Machine Shop Mexico, I think 7 years ago, Plastics Technology 5 years ago. We're in the process of building out some live events to serve that market as well. Meximold, I think, is on its 3rd event that's coming up in October. That'll be in Querétaro. I think I said that properly.
It was close.
Close.
You roll your R's about as well as I do.
Yeah, right. So Claude Moss and his team and Natalia and Madalena that are in Mexico are really looking forward to welcoming that marketplace. There's a ton of plastic production that's being done in Mexico, as most of our folks online know. But they are building out their mold manufacturing capacity, and Meximold's going to help them do that.
Yeah, I was out there 2019, I think.
Yep.
It was a great show. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of participation. It was totally full. And it was different than I thought it would be. Querétaro was beautiful. Felt totally safe. Way safer than when I was in Tijuana or Mexico City. Querétaro is beautiful.
Yeah, there's some perceptions, I think, that when you say it's like the United States, it would be the same misperception. Like Querétaro is I mean, you drive down from the airport and it's big time aerospace, big time automotive, big time medical. It's all there. And so we're looking forward to supporting that Meximold and the growth there. They have a large manufacturing trade show that's launching in January called FITMA, which will focus on more like metal manufacturing and 3D printing and maintenance. So check that out if Mexico is something you're thinking about.
Okay. And Jim Caleri has posted some links. Amerimold Connects news you asked for, we answered. So that is in the LinkedIn comments for the show.
Jim.
Jackie Webb also posted you can find recordings from Amerimold Connects on the homepage of Amerimold Expo. Look at all the participation you guys get. That's great.
That's they make me look good.
And Allie, I love you. You know that. She posted a link for Meximold. So, man, you got a whole team of people.
We haven't even
just
talked
like,
about PT Expo yet.
just like as soon as something comes up, they're on it. They're on.
All right, so I have another book for you.
You got another book. It's like gift time.
Well, you like
I
to
do.
read.
Yeah.
So I knew that. So this
Sometimes.
is
I like to read when I can travel.
Okay.
Because then I'm on the flight. I'm not watching movies.
Yeah.
I'm just focusing on the book.
So a trade show live event from Wakanda to Rosemont. Not a lot of reading down 990.
And we're probably going to spend the night because I'm guessing that we're going to be out.
Yeah, good idea.
People,
we do too. It's just
it's easier.
It's smarter.
Yeah.
It's just smarter. I mean, yes, I've done it. I've done the drive home late at night when you're exhausted. You miss some of those connection times, and then you drive home early. And for those of you that are watching in the Chicago area, everything's an hour commute. So if you can avoid that, I would say look at our housing bureau and get a hotel room. Very reasonable prices.
People talk about LA traffic every time I'm out there and how bad it is. I think my opinion is Chicago traffic is worse. I've been way more frustrated in Chicago.
I think there's more of it. Like if you go to LA, there's like 6 and 7 lane highways that are full.
Yeah.
We only have 4 lane highways, but they're equally as full.
Right.
So, but we're just used to it.
So
all right.
go ahead.
This book, Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Black Book of Connections.
Yep.
So check
He's
that
great,
out.
by the way.
Have you read this book?
Not this one.
Okay,
but
so this is perfect because it's written in really big words with pictures.
He got me a picture book. He does know me.
I got turned on to this book maybe 10 years ago, and it's just like simple things on helping you develop connections with people. And there's probably a lot of stuff in that book you're already doing.
Yeah.
Probably some stuff that will say like, hey, great, I'm doing that. And then maybe some reinforcement and maybe some different ways, like as you've developed over your career and as a man and as a person, maybe what you thought you were doing when you were 25, you're not doing at 40.
You got to shift.
Yeah. So this is just a little reminder.
This is great.
I gave that out to a number of people. We just had a huge all company meeting in July where we hosted dinners. It was super cool. I'll tell you about that in a second. But I gave that book to everyone at my dinner, and they were like, "This is such a great book."
Yeah.
I've given it to some salespeople. I'm giving one to you.
Thank you.
I'm kind of
so just flipping universal truth of connecting. Do what you say you're going to do, what you say to others, and what you say to yourself. Offer value. Cultivate relationships. Do it even when you don't need anything in return. That's one page. I can't wait to read the book.
And how big were those words?
They were huge. Let's see if I can find. Look at this. That's something.
That's my type of book there.
Agreed. Yeah, I had a goal at the beginning of the year to read a book a month. I thought that was a good goal. Yep. That was with the thought that traveling was going to happen. I think I've read 5 so far. So I'm only slightly behind.
Anything? What type of genre are you reading right now?
It's mostly leadership books.
Okay. You don't step off and like hop into like a Patterson just to like give yourself a break?
No, not usually, because I feel like that's my time for growth. Like I'm not going to take extra classes. I read a book about what it means to be a Christian man, and some of the lessons that come out of that. Yeah. The book I'm reading right now is who wrote it? I'm not going to remember. I'll have to put that out there. Yeah. But it's all about leadership from a Christian perspective and what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's great. What I've decided I'm going to do is I was never a good note taker in school. I know you find that hard to believe.
I'll remember it all.
Yeah, my ADD kicks in a little bit. So now I'm focusing, and I'm if something sticks out, I underline it. And then I thought, well, that's stupid because I'm never going to find that underline ever again. So what I'm going to do now is all the books that I underline stuff in, I'm going to start one large document with just the bullets that I think are important, so that I have my own.
Do you have
living document.
Are you an iPhone user?
I am.
Do you have notes? Do you have like an ongoing note to yourself?
I don't.
Try that.
Yeah.
So I have an ongoing note to myself of like things that captured me.
Okay.
There's all kinds of stuff in there. There's Bible verses. There's different quotes. Like one of my favorite ones, "Action Cures Fear." Got turned on to that by a friend of mine who's also an author, Ted Egley.
Okay.
Thermostat versus thermometer. Like your job as a leader is to set the thermostat of the room, set the temperature.
Okay.
Not be a thermometer. Don't be up and down. Set the temperature. Right.
I like that.
So think about what you're doing in your daily walk with your family, with your leadership team, with your folks in the shop. Like, are you setting a thermostat?
Right.
Or are you just coming in to take temperatures all the time?
Yeah.
That one still, well, yeah, a little bit. That one to me just sticks out. Action cures fear is like a mantra for me.
Yeah.
Like, cause that fear is something that, people say I'm scared, but
Right.
sometimes they're excited, because fear and excitement have the same reactions in your body. Get a little palm sweat, get a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, but the whole point is get moving.
Yeah.
Just get moving. Like take a step, take a step, take a step. And all of a sudden you find that you've cured your fear, whatever that fear is. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's making a customer call. Maybe it's walking into a live event. Maybe it's stepping into a 1.2 mile swim on a half Ironman triathlon.
Yeah.
But get
one
moving.
buoy at a time.
One buoy at a time. Absolutely.
Similar to that one of my favorite quotes about fears from Erwin McManus out in California. He's a pastor at a big church. He says, freedom is on the other side of your fear. So yeah, you're afraid of it, but just break through. Yeah. And when you get through it, now you're free to do whatever you want. Yeah. And usually what you're afraid of is worse in your brain, right? It's the liar and deceiver and all the stuff in your brain going, you should really be careful for this. Yeah. You can't, you're not good enough. You're this, you're that. And if you just like chisel away at that wall and break through it, you're free to do whatever you want. Yeah.
I'll send this to you, Mary Kate, to put up, but there's a Nike ad that I watch regularly. Those around Gardner's sales team may know that I watch this, and some of them watch it too. But it's called Rise and Shine or Rise and Grind. Okay. But it talks about the devil on your shoulder all the time. And of course it's set to like running and extreme sports and things. So it's got a really cool thing, but there's just, it's just a really motivational, and it speaks to me just a number of different ways a lot of times. Do you follow Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, at all?
No.
Oh, dude.
Eric
Thomas is great.
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas, he talks about on the other side of pain is reward.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're already in the pain. Yeah. Right. So bust through the pain to get the reward. Don't just sit in the pain and back off.
Right.
Like, cause
embrace it,
because it's just going to be painful. So get to the other side of the pain and get the reward.
When I past life, worked with a company called Base Performance. You'll see them on the Ironman courses and the half Ironman courses. And when we would run with athletes that last 18 miles or whatever it was of the run course and encourage them, the thing that they would always say is, my feet hurt. And I would say, do they hurt when you walk or hurt when you run? And they said, they hurt. I said, well, if you run, you're done faster. Right. So embrace the pain and get to the finish line so you can enjoy all the stuff, all the hard work and the time and the commitment that you put into it. Of course it's going to hurt. Yeah. It's going to hurt. You signed up for something that hurts. Life is going to hurt. Business is going to hurt. Relationships are going to hurt, but you signed up for it. So embrace it and get the most you can out of that pain.
And remember, it's temporary.
Yeah.
Like, it's just temporary. So you're going to work through it and build a little bit of muscle memory through the pain. Yeah. So that the next time you get to that challenge, you can rely on your memory, your muscle memory. I've gotten through this before. I've run a mile before. I've run a 5K. I've called that customer before. I've walked into a show. I've made that call. I've made, just building those muscle memories. And then before you know it, it's not even a fear anymore. It's not even anxiousness. And if you're really doing it right, you're talking to somebody that's in that same seat you were a year earlier, and you're talking about that process that you followed to get through it.
Allie says we need to start a motivational podcast, and she's in. Does that mean you're in and like funding it, or you just watch it? That's a different question, because that would be fun.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I mean,
there's way better speakers than us on motivational.
I disagree. It's biblical too, right? Like, you're a Bible guy. Sure. I'm a Bible guy. We're called to remember all the things that God has gotten us through in the past. Sure. So when we come across that wall that we don't know how to get through, we're called to remember, oh yeah, he got me through this one before. Of course he's going to get me through that one. And that goes all the way back to the Israelites.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Ongoing.
You bring that up because a lot of people that I know are action-oriented people. Yeah. Like, they want to do things, and they struggle with not doing
sitting
things. So I've really been called the last several weeks, like different environments where the word be still keeps coming up. And it's all over the Bible, by the way. Yeah, be still, be still, be still, and know, be still and wait, be still and lean not on your own understanding. And so it's really like, obviously God is trying to get a point across to me that it's coming up in several different channels, that it's caused me to like look and be like, where am I not still? Where do I need to just rest?
Are you thinking about that when you're swimming a mile or riding your bike for 6 miles? Because that's not still.
That could be, but trust. A lot of it has to do with trust, because you're not, there's a plan that's playing out in all of our lives, and it's a perfect plan. And that perfect plan is something that you don't know about. You may think you know what's perfect about it, but what you think, you don't have the comprehension to know what the perfect plan should be. And so maybe that's a little bit of stillness.
I don't have the capacity for that. Nobody has the capacity.
That's why we're not trusted with it.
Yeah.
Adam was trusted with it, and see what happened there.
Screwed that up. There's a pastor out of Flatirons Church, Pastor Jim, and he always says, "I'm not God, and nobody wants me to be."
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 minutes left. So if you have a question for Ryan or myself, please put it in the chat. This has been a good
great
conversation. A lot of stuff coming in. So
this is like an honored chair. Like, I mean, there's so many legends that went before me.
My father sat.
Your dad was here.
Kirby
Glenn was over there.
Yeah.
Kirby, Christina was on video.
Christina
and Allison were on video.
Yes, they were.
That was Amerimold Connect.
They were.
I do want to just mention that.
Please.
I mentioned a little bit Plastics Technology Expo.
Yep.
A lot of people, have asked us when we launched Plastics Technology Expo a few months ago, like, why did we do this?
Right.
We have been surveying our audience, the plastics technology, mold making technology audience, additive manufacturing audience. What do you want to see in a live event? And what they want to see is technology on display.
Okay.
And so we felt it was a good time to kind of come alongside NPE and support them in the non-NPE years.
Sure.
NPE is very important to our markets. We all know that. It is the show. When it's an NPE year, it's the show. But Plastics Technology Expo is going to be that buffer between there and keep people with the ability to look at technology.
Yep.
2/3 of our audience said put it in the Chicago area.
Okay.
Actually, next closest was Nashville, but they don't have a convention center that can support a big show that we're aware of. So that is at the end of March 2022, in the Rosemont Convention Center. You can learn more at ptexpo.com, and we can answer any questions along the way. And you'll see a lot of that at Amerimold, because we're kind of, hey, next steps. This is where we go.
Yeah, and I hear those questions. I talk to enough people, and some of the thoughts, some of the questions people had is why. I don't know why they ask me. I don't work for Gardner.
Got a direct line.
Yeah. Why in Chicago again? Amerimold is there right now. Would it make sense to have it somewhere else? You just answered that. That's where people want the show to be.
We didn't decide it. Your customers decided it.
Why so soon after Amerimold? It's only a couple months away. It's more money being dedicated to another show. How do we justify that? Is it going to be a different audience there? Aren't we going to see all those people? Again, I don't know. I don't work there. I don't see their data. But I'm sure you get those questions as well.
Amerimold will have a place. We'll have a mold making pavilion inside of Amerimold, or inside of Plastics Technology Expo, that'll be powered by Amerimold.
Yep.
And so it'll be a place for folks to talk and learn and have tooling discussions. It's right next to our injection molding pavilion. We have huge commitments from some of the leading injection molding machine manufacturers in the United States and in Europe. And I think Japan as well. You can check it out at the website. But these people did not buy 40 by 40 booths not to bring equipment.
Yeah.
So if looking at equipment running and looking at technology, then Plastics Technology Expo is we're real excited about the opportunity.
Cool. I like it. And Max Burkhart posted the link for Plastic Technology Expo in the comments. And Rachel Frecking says, great podcast, and she's happy. I like the happy emoji. It makes me know that it's not just sarcasm.
I'm happy.
It's not just sarcasm. That's good. So we always wrap up our show with a prayer. I think that when Hillary and I first started talking about doing this, the idea was keep it optimistic and positive. And that doesn't mean you can't talk about challenging things, because life is challenging, but you can't dwell in the negative space. You have to look at the optimistic, positive side of things. So if anybody's listening, if you have any prayer requests, put them in the chat, and we will be sure to include those. So we'll give that a hot second. Ryan, any thoughts on prayer requests?
Well, thanks for asking. I think to me is just I mentioned it earlier. September 11th, the 20th anniversary is coming up, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of pain from that
Yep.
time frame. And I just pray that those people are whoever you are and wherever you are feeling love and support, and you're not alone. And yeah, that'd be where I would focus.
Cool. Tony from Mastip chimed in again. He says, "Great job, friends. I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone in person at Amerimold." Same. Bob Huff says same. Same here, Ryan. Where's Ryan?
Right.
Oh, just you.
That might be me.
Oh, man. It's been a long week. Let me say. So are people still buying booths now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if people still want to get a booth, which I would encourage it, it's a good show.
Yep.
How do they do that?
The easiest way to go is just go to AmeriMoldExpo.com and click exhibit, and you can sign up for a booth right there.
Yeah.
We've got our entire sales team, people that Dale Jackman, Jackie Dalzell, everyone on our metalworking sales team, Max and Rachel, as well as Bob Huff are there to help you as well. So we've got people that are there if you've got questions.
Yep.
If you don't have any questions, you just want to go for it, you can just buy it online. We have, usually 1 or 2 booths that come in every day from this time, because I think there's businesses out there that are saying, hey, this is the decision we are making. I feel comfortable. I've got the ability to leave my shop and go track down and hunt some new leads, and I'm going to do it. So, yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's game time decision. So, and if you've never been to Amerimold and you don't get a booth, that's fine. Everybody there wants to talk and share what's going on in their lives. There's awesome tech talks going on.
Tool Room
Live, in-booth demonstrations, so many things that you can get information on and be a part of and experience. And I get nothing from saying all this other than more people showing up.
Pat on the back.
Yeah, that's it. There is no, if you mention mold making, or if you mention Manufacturing Alliance, there is no discount. I'm sorry, I don't get one either.
If you swing by our booth, we'll give you a top 10 t-shirt. How's that?
Hey, there, you got that going for you. So other than that, Ryan, anything that you want to add before we get out of here?
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you to Mary Kate. Thank you to you. It's just been a great experience. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Mary Kate's got a couple thoughts here. We have, yes. So at Amerimold, we Alliance are doing a tech talk with Larry Patton from Dramco.
Oh, sweet.
Larry and his company invested in, we call it the Leviathan. It is an awesome laser engraving machine built specifically for larger tooling houses to be able to do what they need to do. And he also bought our ID1. So we're going to be talking about why Larry thought the time was right to be investing in that technology instead of outsourcing it.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be Thursday at 10 a.m. I would have liked it to be earlier, but I was late in getting that in there. It's my fault. So stick around on Thursday. Come back on Thursday. If you've never talked to Larry, he's a character all on his own. That's worth sitting through the tech talk. And it'll be one of those things where we want to answer questions. Yeah. We are not people that are overly prepared to do a whole presentation. We want to know what people want to know. And help them make decisions based on that. So that'll be Thursday at 10 a.m. And then once again, stick around for the golf outing. It'll be a lot of fun.
Do you have a website address for the golf outing?
I do. Thank you. It's alliancelasersales.com/golf. You'll see in the link that it says golf outing 2020. It's not. It's golf outing 2021. But it's just alliancelasersales.com/golf. You can still do whole registration, sponsorships of whatever kind, and register golfers. And it will be.
Someone didn't want to come golfing. Can they make just a donation?
They can absolutely make a donation.
I'm not getting paid for this either. I'm just helping you out.
No. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. He reciprocates. That's good. I bet that's in this book somewhere.
Right.
So
I'm getting nothing for this. You read it already.
Exactly. All right. So I'm going to pray for us, and then we're going to go have some lunch. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for my friend. Thank you for his willingness to come in and talk and share and be bold about his faith and the courage that it gives him. Thank you for all the people that are listening, and we pray that they would be blessed in ways that only you can do. We pray for all the people who are hurting because of loss, sickness, fear, anxiety for whatever's going on in the world and in their lives. We pray for those families of the victims from 9/11, things that are going on in Afghanistan, the people of Afghanistan. We pray for our leaders and everybody that's listening to this today. And we just pray that you would be with us, that you would continue to give us the trials, the pain, and the things that grow us to be what you want us to be, because we trust you and we know that you have a plan for our lives, and you can use all things for the good that those that believe. So we pray all of this in Jesus' name, and that you would get all the glory. And amen.
Amen.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming out. Love you, man.
Handshake, hug it out.
Yeah, well, I mean,
all. I'm a green sticker guy.
Green sticker, yes. So when you get to Amerimold, remember, red means don't touch me. Stay at least 6 feet away. Put up a barrier. Yellow means fist bump is okay, but
yellow means like don't go in like guns blazing.
And green is bring it in. I miss you. Let's do this. That's all I got.
That's great. Couldn't have said it any better.
Mary Kate just shakes her head at me. I don't know. She's not used to this by now. So I want to thank everybody for watching, for listening, for your questions, for your comments, for being part of the Manufacturing Alliance experience. We want this show for you to help in any capacity that we can. So if you would like to be part of the show, send us an email at tony@alliancelasersales.com. And we'll have you be on the show. We'd love to have you as a guest. We'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions, concerns. We want to continue to grow and get better. But for now, on behalf of myself and everybody at Alliance, Ryan, the whole Gardner Business Media family, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Take care, and God bless.